Somewhere along the way, a lot of us stopped living and we just started performing. We performed for productivity, for raises, for promotions, for healing, or for happiness. And the most scary part is that most people don't even realize that it's happening, because from the outside, your life might look actually perfectly fine. You go to work, you have a family, you're answering emails, you're paying the bills on time, you're showing up for your friends, you smile, you post, and you function. But internally, you feel like you're disconnected from yourself, like you don't even know who you are anymore. Like you're watching your own life just go past by instead of actually experiencing it, and you're waiting for the weekends. And honestly, I think it's becoming really common these days among millennials and overachieving adults, especially people who have spent their years just surviving. Because survival mode teaches you how to function, not how to feel alive. And there's a difference, a huge difference. A lot of people today are productive, especially in this day and age of AI. They are incredibly productive, but they're emotionally absent from their own lives. And you don't notice this because, yes, productivity gets rewarded, it gets the raises, but you're still exhausted. What about that? And society calls you disciplined. You're still functioning, but you're exhausted. You're emotionally disconnected from everything around you, but you're still achieving and growing. And they call it being successful. Functioning and feeling alive are not the same thing at all. A robot can function, but it is not alive. You are. You are human. And I think deep down, a lot of people actually know it, but there's nothing that they can do about it, right? You feel it where your entire life starts becoming different. And you feel it when something is shifting. Your mornings are now a certain way. You wake up on a certain time. Your workouts become optimized. You want to make the most out of everything every time. Your relationships are optimized, and your routines. Man, I've started to hate that term routine. Everything becomes about output. Everything becomes about numbers. Everything becomes about the rate of growth, efficiency, and how much are we saving? What are the profits? Etc. But what about becoming better? Nobody actually asks you, do you feel connected to your life anymore? Like, yes, everybody asks you, how's your life? How's it going? Etc. Etc. But does anybody even ask you, are you connected? And are you connected to, not to the Wi-Fi, are you connected to yourself? Because you know what? That's hard to measure. You cannot measure that in any way. There is nothing that society has given us to measure if we're feeling connected with ourselves. And I think a lot of overly ambitious people are emotionally exhausted. Yes, I said it. Not because they're weak, they've been performing for too long. And you know what that means? Like performing to be the best all the time, to get more done, to get validation, to get approvals, to get the accolades, to get the medals, and just to be on and on. They are so used to being this version of themselves that is the strong one, the responsible one, the reliable one. Oh, she's the one that I can trust. He's the emotionally mature one. That person is an ambitious one. And after years and years and years of doing that, you slowly stop knowing who you are outside of this. Like, I don't know who I am outside of being a very good performer at work. And that was the whole reason why I wrote my second book and why I'm talking about this whole series, because that's scary to me. And I'm like, what happens if I lose my job tomorrow? Who even am I without my title, without my tasks, without my deadlines? What even am I doing? And when did this happen? I thought I was being successful, but what do I actually want? What makes me happy? What feels real to me? Because survival mode doesn't leave room, because you've stopped asking yourself those questions. When was the last time you actually asked yourself, what feels real and what gets joy to me? Am I doing this for myself or am I doing it for others? Survival mode just makes you think about what's next. What can I do to become better next? What needs to be get done next? What can I check off from my list next? And I think you have liked that version of yourself in the past, and you've lived like that for long enough that it's become your identity. But one day you're going to wake up and you're going to realize that that life looks stable and amazing on paper, but that's not you. That's not who you want it to be, because that's not giving you your happiness anymore. And you know what? Take it from me. That realization is going to be absolutely terrifying, because from outside, people might even admire your life and they would clap for you and cheer for you. But internally, you are going to feel emotionally lost, and you're just going to feel emotionally flat. And the biggest signs of this disconnect is that you cannot relax anymore. You don't know how to calm down. You don't even know what to do with your free time. And your nervous system doesn't know how to slow down. You sit down and you're just going to feel guilty. You're going to go on vacation and you will still feel mentally tired. Like, you know, the term that people say, I need a vacation from a vacation. Well, you're going to feel exactly like that, but with your life. You will finish one task and then immediately you're going to start searching for another. Because your brain has now become addicted to productivity as a form of this safety. Because it knows who you are when you have your tasks, when you're doing your things that you're supposed to do, when you have your checklist, when you're being your optimum self, being productive all the time, and when you're pushing yourself. And I really think that many millennials were conditioned this way. A lot of us grew up believing that our worth came from achievement, from being useful, responsible, successful, and reliable, and being needed all the time. It felt good to be needed all the time. Some people were praised their entire childhood for being mature. I was one of them. I am still called the mature one in a lot of different situations. And I feel like that was responsible for me being okay with things that I wasn't okay with. And what that meant was that I learned to suppress myself early. And I'm pretty sure that is the reason for a lot of millennials too. And now as adults, we struggle to rest without guilt. My God, I could have done this in that 20-minute nap that I took. Going for a walk, let me listen to another podcast. Let me catch up on this episode. Oh, I cannot read a book while walking. Let me hear a book while I'm walking. Let me listen to this new stuff. Let me get this thing done. We are always trying to multitask because we struggle to just be quiet and calm with our thoughts. We struggle to give room to our thoughts because it's scary. It's scary to exist without proving something, without earning something. And that creates this weird emotional emptiness, not because it's bad, but because you've disconnected yourself from within. You're going through these motions. You're waking up, you go to work, you scroll during your lunchtime, you reply to your messages, to your Slack pings, to your Zoom calls, to your team meetings, to your emails. You come back, you clean up, you work out, you sleep, and repeat. And you just stop feeling present in your own life. You notice these small moments and you stop feeling excited most of the time. You stop feeling curious all the time. Everything just becomes maintenance. And you know what? I think social media has made this worse because now people are not just living life, they're curating it. Everything becomes content. Everything becomes branding, marketing. Everything becomes image management. And slowly people have stopped asking, am I happy? Am I comfortable wearing this dress? Am I comfortable spending millions of dollars just for this spot because it's going to look Instagram worthy and because it's picture perfect? I want people to start asking, does my life look good enough to me? And that's a dangerous, dangerous thing. It's going to open a big can of worms because appearances can hide your emotional exhaustion for years. And if you do it well, then you can just keep going on. And someone can look successful online all the time, but privately, it's going to be different. And I can vouch for it. Privately, they might be completely disconnected. And I think many people are reaching a point now in their late 30s where they're realizing, I don't want my life to be an impressive one anymore. I just want it to be real. That's what I want you to think about. Not optimization, no reconnection. I just want you to stop, learn how to rest, find joy, be present, instill that creativity in you, and most of all, human connection without any distraction. Go figure out and go relearn what it means to actually exist instead of just performing all the time. And honestly, sometimes healing starts with very small things. It starts with stepping outside your home, going for a walk without your phone, without your headphones, without any digital device. Just go feel the wind, listen to the trees sway, notice everything in your neighborhood. And maybe next time when you're listening to music, actually hear it and feel it. Learn how to sit in silence. Learn to give room to your thoughts and laugh genuinely. Don't fake it. Do something slowly. If you're washing the dishes, or if you're cooking food, or if you're doing laundry, slow down. Take a minute. Breathe. It's okay. You don't have to get this done in 5 minutes. You don't have to get this done in 10 minutes. And do it slowly because it's going to make you feel human again. Because it's not a race. Maybe the goal of the life isn't to constantly become more impressive. Maybe you become impressive by actually living it and not faking it. Maybe the goal is to feel connected to yourself while living in it. And burnout isn't always doing too much, like I always say. It's just when you do not pay attention to the signs and symptoms and when you do not listen to what your body is trying to communicate to you. So if this resonated with you, if you've been disconnected with yourself for too long, subscribe to Rise and Tell with Sheekha. And I think a lot more people feel this way than they'd like to admit, and I'm here to call that out. And as always, keep growing, keep glowing, and be yourself. This is your host Sheekha Singh signing off. Bye.